Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at my XL rank 4 Greninja in the Halloween Cup. This Pokemon looks like a lot of fun for this meta, especially after the recent buff of Mudslap. This Pokemon has a lot of potential for this cup. And so today we're going to try it out, see what it's all about, and we're going to have a team here of Wigglytuff in the lead, which is going to be our main answer spell to Golurk, as he's going to be able to do quite a lot of damage with Charm against this Pokemon, while taking double resisted damage from Shadow Punch. We're going to have the Say-Swap of Malamar, trying to bait out potential Pokemon like a Mandibuzz. I know Mandibuzz is still not a great matchup, but it's a Pokemon you can kind of bait out with it. We're going to have here also then in the back, of course, that Greninja trying to also counter those Poison-type Pokemon. We have a Say-Swap that can beat Poison types. We're going to have a Pokemon in the back with the Greninja that can beat other Poison-type Pokemon, and so it is definitely on paper a very decent team. I don't know really what happened with this team, but there were things that I kind of would have liked to be a little bit different. One of the things is definitely getting a Shadow Greninja. Shadow Greninja has a huge advantage with Mudslap, which I don't think is going to stay like this, by the way, for the foreseeable future. Very likely still going to stay like this for next season. I would imagine we're going to get a Mudslap nerf this season afterwards, because usually Niantic gives 2 seasons to basically one move update until they kind of want to nerf it afterwards. But yeah, basically I would really recommend you go for Shadow Greninja over the normal Greninja. There was next to no reason for me to have the normal Greninja over the Shadow variant, of course, other than that I don't have the Shadow variant built. But I feel like there would be so many wins that I would have been able to get here if I had the Shadow variant of it. So if you have the Shadow variant already built, this game might be something for you. You have to be a little bit careful as well though with Pokemon like this one here, Wormadam, which is this specific matchup, we're hopefully going to see it later on as well still, is going to cause me a loss in a different matchup later on, because here I saw Wormadam as a Say-Swap, which is a little bit annoying for us to deal with because we don't really have a clear answer. We're going to have a Pokemon in the back, of course, with the Greninja that takes super effective damage from the Fast move. Here we're going to take double super effective damage from the Charge move. But the main issue here is that I just decided to swap out into my Malamar because I expect, of course, that Wormadam going to have like a Fast move that's double resisted or triple resisted from us. There are going to be later matchup where it is not going to be a Wormadam, but it has the same typing, and that swap can go also quite wrong. Anyway, here we're going to see Greninja. I wanted to get the swap out already earlier on, but it did not work out at all for whatever reason. Like, the game is still a little bit laggy for me, at least recently here right now. But as you're gonna see, they're going to have a Fortress in the back. And I was a little bit concerned, you have to say. Fortress has options like the Earthquake as well, which can be a little bit tricky for our final Pokemon. But we're still in a solid spot here. We're going to see the opponent having to take a foul play. We're going to try our best to go for another Charge move, but not before the opponent is going to be able to get the knockout here with the Earthquake. But luckily we can already Mudslap them down, and this is going to be enough for us to win the battle. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to have. We're going to have here the opponent's own Greninja. That's kind of cool. Then we can swap out, and this is actually the first battle that I did with this team. Why do I know this? Because we have the wrong Fast move on that Malamar, and that's not because I put the wrong Fast move on this one before on purpose. I just chose the wrong Malamar. I actually have 3 Malamars built for the Open Great League. This is not the one that has Psywave already, and this definitely kind of makes this matchup a little bit more awkward, because Psywave actually would allow us to pressure the opponent's Carbink way more, because it's a 1-turn Fast move that does way more damage than Psycho Cut. And so, as we are not able to do this here, we are gonna be in a way worse spot, as the opponent can still go for 2 charge moves here against us. First one is coming through, and the second one is coming straight afterwards. This is going to be also the Moonblast, as they were able to farm down me beforehand. This is going to do a ton of damage, of course. They swap back into their own Greninja, which is actually really good, because now we can force a shield from them, most likely. And we can hopefully go for the full farm down, because now we are aligned in terms of fast move pressure. And let's see here, I'm going to try my best to fully farm them down. I just try to go for the Sludge Bomb, but I don't get the Sludge Bomb off. I'm fairly certain if I would have been able to get the Sludge Bomb off, I would have been able to win the battle here as well. But sadly, the opponent is going to be able to now go ahead and, yeah, shield up the Icy Wind and win the battle with their Ledian. Next opponent, we're going to encounter here the Azumarill. Azumarill in the lead is going to be a little bit of an awkward spot for us. We're going to try our best with the Swift from our Wigglytuff. We kind of have to stay in here because we have the Malamar matchup, which is not ideal. At this point, the Malamar matchup actually is okay for us, because we have already a lot of fast move pressure already onto the opponent, which allows us to put them into range where one shot move would be enough. And so here there would be also one way of just letting this move go through and trying to farm down with a Malamar. I don't think it would have been in range yet for full farm down though, that's why I decided to use a shield, fully farm them down, and we are definitely not in a great spot here because they're going to have that Marowak. Maybe I should have swapped out here instead as well into my Malamar, but I rather decided to go ahead and go for the Icy Wind, drop the opponent's attack, and now go into my own Greninja, hoping that there's something in the back that we can deal with. It's going to be the Sableye, and yeah, this is not going to be a great matchup for me. I can still go for a Mud Bomb. This is going to be able to get the shield from them. I'm going to try to get the final shield from them as well here, as we're going to go for those Mud Slaps. We're going to be able to generate quite a bit of energy with them, but it's not really looking good for us. We have to go for this move straight away. And as we will see as well, we're going to swap out into our Malamar. We have to still go for a foul play. They have a ton of energy, which they're going to unleash here as well already. Foul play is coming through, and we try our best to go for another foul play afterwards. It's going to knock them out, but can we still reach another charge move is the question. Could have played it a little bit better. Let's find out. It's going to be the Marowak. Maybe if I went for the superpower here, I would have had a chance, but I honestly don't even think so. Like, I would have needed to see Pita against them. I didn't, and so sadly I'm going to lose this battle. Golurk is a great lead for us. We're gonna see here already why I want to have the Wigglytuff. The opponent is even swapping out here as well, and they're gonna swap into the Clodsire. Here this is most likely a little bit of a mistake of swapping into the Greninja, because Greninja is of course weak to the potential of Earthquake here, and so we're forced to go for a shield, because if we're not gonna take a shield, the opponent is gonna one-shot us anyway. And so I am forced to even go for another shield here, as it's going to be now the Earthquake that we are kind of fearing here, and the opponent is going to be able to get both of our shields, but not before we can go for our own move here as well. Make it so we could swap out of here as well afterwards, but I always aligned myself into those horrible scenarios, which we have here again as well. We have the worst possible answer, 2 Wigglytuff against us, but we're actually gonna get the shield here, which is kind of madness, which I did not expect. And they even go for a charge move, which is gonna make it all a little bit easier for us, because now I can go back into my Greninja, I can go for those Mud Bombs, I can easily take a hit from the opponent as well. I'm gonna overfarm just in case as well that the opponent wants to maybe swap out, but I kinda want to have some damage onto the opponent. I'm fairly certain at this point Malamar should be enough to completely win the battle, and so I swap out, which was a little bit of a mistake. I should have stayed in, most likely would have been a bit better, but as you're gonna see here, the opponent is going to decide to swap out anyway. Golurk can go for a charge move, but no charge move other than Poltergeist is going to one-shot us here from this range, and so we're gonna be able to knock them out and also knock out their Toxapex. Wigglytuff against Golurk. That's going to be a very favorable lead for us. Again, they swap out into the Drapion, allowing us to go into our Greninja, and this is going to be a great matchup for Greninja. A matchup that I don't think we are actually going to be able to lose in any kind of way, as the opponent goes for the crunch. We have a little bit of lag there. We're going to be able to go for another charge move now though. This is going to be enough to knock them out, and they're going to go back very likely into the Golurk, but I might even be able to reach still another Mud Bomb. I need 3 more fast moves. I am not going to be able to go there, but at least I can go back into my Wigglytuff. I can use a shield here against the potential Dynamic Punch. Unlikely that they're going to go for a bait here, as like a bait would do no damage at all. They swap out now into the Azumarill. I decided to go for the bait here as well, kind of with the Icy Wind, trying to just drop the opponent's attack a little, and I feel like it is the right call to do, just generally speaking, but this is only the right call if they don't have Hydro Pump, which they have. A player if I would have been able to survive and still get another move, but now we are in a very tough spot, and I'm also going to be forced to let the move go through now, because I was hoping it's going to be the Ice Beam, but now they're running Play Rough as well as the Hydro Pump, and this is going to sadly seal the deal. Maybe if I even went for a charge move against them a little bit early on already, like a foul play a little bit earlier on, I would have been fine here, because I would have been able to get a ton of energy and just maybe go for another charge move, but sadly we're going to lose this battle here. Next opponent, we're going to have Clodsire in the lead, horrible lead for us. Weezing is coming in, which is generally speaking a favorable lead for us, but like it's also not as ideal either. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go for the full farm down. This is going to be the only way of really winning this, as we will see here the shield coming up. Brutal Swing, great bait by the opponent. I can still go for another charge move though, and this is going to allow us now to get the shield from the opponent. And I feel like my opponents usually would be able to get the knockout here already. I'm not. The opponent can go for a charge move, but it doesn't work out for them. Now they can align their Azumarill though against me, which is really, really awkward because now, like, what am I really gonna do here? And I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a weird play. What you're gonna see as well, I decided to swap out into the Greninja, hoping that the opponent would swap out into their own Clodsire, expecting that this is going to be the Wigglytuff or something like this. And this is going to work out quite well. We can go for a Mud Bomb, we're gonna get them quite low with it as well. But sadly, they're gonna be able to go for an Earthquake here, knock me out, and we have now the position that we are in, where we're gonna have to go into our Melema, and sadly the fast move damage is just not adding up fast enough against our opponent here, so they can go for a shield, they can go for a knockout. Now they're gonna still be able to reach a move against the Wigglytuff, putting us into basically a position where we're not going to be able to win the battle. There were like so many positions like where we're in a lot of times where it's just like kind of the hardest answers against us. And I don't know, I don't really feel like it's a team issue. I honestly don't really feel like this. But I definitely can say that I feel that a Shadow variant of Greninja would have done so much better than the normal variant. So next opponent, we have another horrible lead for us. Clodsire is there, we're gonna swap out, we're gonna get out most likely a Pokemon eventually as well. They're gonna go straight for the Sludge Bomb, which I'm actually going to be okay with because our Switch Cloak is unaligned now, which is gonna be cool, while we have a ton of energy, but they're gonna swap out into their own Melema. And to be fair, I make a little bit of a mistake here. We're gonna see the foul play coming through. I'm gonna try my best to go for another superpower. This is going to be able to now connect and get some damage onto them, but it's not going to be enough to knock them out. And so we're gonna let the move go through from the opponent. This is going to be a foul play, gonna knock us out. And so at this point, we are not gonna be able to align ourselves. We don't have any kind of advantage. And here's one of the biggest reasons why I feel like the Shadow variant would have been better. I'm fairly certain against Greninja, especially in the position that we're in, the Shadow variant would have been able to just fully farm them down, but this variant here is just not capable, and I don't really know why, but it is not really looking too good for us here. Mud Bomb is coming through, we're gonna try our best to go for the full, Mud Bomb down there basically, but it just doesn't really work out at all, as we will see here. The opponent's still gonna be able to go for another charge move. I expected they're gonna go for another fast move afterwards. It was not correct, but I imagine I was the Shadow variant of it. I'm fairly certain I would have been able to fully farm on that Greninja, and so sadly we're gonna lose this battle. Next opponent, we're going to have Greninja in the lead, and I was a bit worried in this matchup for no reason, to be fair, as what we're going to see later in this matchup is going to be very good for us, but it is not going to really work out in general in our favor, later on at least, because I was kind of doubting myself that I saw that Greninja in the lead, which is a little bit silly, but yeah, what you guys see here is that the opponent's going to decide to go for a charge move. It's going to be the Ice Beam. It's going to get us low, but we're going to be able to farm them all the way down. And what we see next is Manibus. What this means is we won the game already. But I didn't really know. Like, I thought I saw the Greninja in the lead, but I wasn't sure about it. And here's one thing. The opponent makes actually a great effort on still trying to basically get into the game by going for the full farm down here. And so what I try to do is soak the damage on my Melema. But at this point I was still not sure if there's actually the Greninja still in the lead. And so what I'm gonna do now is I can still go for a superpower, very likely gonna force a shield. But as you will see as well, the opponent is gonna take that hit. We will see the opponent trying their best with their aerial ace, but I can now swap out into my Wigglytuff and they go back into the Greninja, and that's going to be a good game. There's nothing they can do here anymore. This is going to be definitely a victory, and we can now move on to the next opponent. Also, the Shadow Greninja does win against Greninja unless Greninja goes for bait moves against it. Final battle for today, we're going to have a Azumarill here in the lead. Of course, if you appreciated this video, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Shadow Nidoking is honestly a funny one. Like, it does not suffer too much of like the issue that the Nidoqueen has, but I feel like Nidoking, Nidoqueen backline would be really fun to use. So maybe I'm gonna write this down for myself. I have a Nidoking build as well here with not the right moveset, but definitely something I can still fix. And Azumarill double Nido would be an interesting shout for sure. Definitely gonna be on my list. Very cool from the opponent. I like to see when there's like a little bit of a spice there around as well. Azumarill here, going to be able to knock us out. That's fine. Hydro Pump as well, that's going to be very fine. And yeah, it's going to be Clodsire in the deck. It's not the Nidoqueen directly, but funny to see that. Funny to see a Nidoking around here. I don't think we're going to be in a great spot here yet. It's going to be a bit tricky. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it still could be that there's going to be a decent one for us, but like, we have to see about this one, as the opponent is going to be able to go ahead and go for that Sludge Bomb. and we are forced to go for a foul play. But they're gonna be already quite low, so it really depends if we can still win this battle or not. We're gonna get the shield from the opponent. They decide to swap out into the Azumarill, but because we can go for a charge move, we can just swap out afterwards, and I don't think there's a way of them winning the battle. We can go for the full charm down, and this is going to be it for this video. We actually got a lot of good battles here in today, a lot of wins. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.